strategic objective of the society looking at for Vision 2015. Welcome, Michael, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone into Kansas City as well. It's an honor to be up here. It's an honor to be here with my daughter, Kaylee, who's 16 years old and who has been fighting leukemia, ALL. Like the video said, when you're hit with those words, it's you can't describe the feelings that overcome you. It usually is not going to happen to you. It's going to happen to someone else. And when the doctors tell you those words, you have cancer, you have leukemia, my first instinct was I called my mom. I didn't know what to do. But the big thing is I didn't know how to spell leukemia. And I tell you, it was one of those things that it was so surreal. You get those words and you really don't know, you don't know what it is. I didn't know it was blood cancer. I didn't know if it was capitalized. I didn't know if there was an I, there was a U, there was an E. And there was one thing that really made me feel at ease. And I'm talking, and I'm not kidding you, it was within the first 10 minutes that there was a society, there was a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, my Mid-America chapter, and I knew that they would have an answer how to spell it. and as goofy as that sounds, it was there, and I knew it. And I called Amy Michael, and I asked her, I said, tell me about this disease. And she told me. Well, I'll be honest, I went into my depression, I went into my funk, and I was there for a while. I didn't want to leave home, I owned my own business, and things were running. And it was in September, that happened in June 21st to be exact, that in September, I wasn't doing anyone any good. I was at home, I didn't want to leave my daughter's bedside, I didn't want to leave Children's Mercy, and I called Amy, Jana, Victoria, I called everyone, and I didn't ask for what resources that were there for me. I asked, what can I do for you guys? I own a TV channel that plays in Kansas City. What can I promote? Is it team and training? Is it Hype for Discovery? Whatever it was, I needed to get out of the house. And usually the phone calls come, I would say that, what programs are available, what kind of assistance is there. But mine was a little odd, and I even told Amy, I said, this must be one of the weirdest questions you've ever had. What can I do for you? And from that moment, it really set me on a path that I was going to help. And being at Children's Mercy, which is our children's hospital here, obviously, you come across death, you come across sickness, and you come across things that you would only see in a movie, a magazine, a book. And when you sit there and you live it and you watch it, I can't tell you how attached you are to it. You see it, you befriend families, and then a child passes 3 days later, and it's absolutely devastating. What I did was I made it a point that I have a loud voice. I deal with all the media groups. I can get things done. And a family, one day when we were in a waiting room, mother looked at me, who barely spoke English, and she told me, I need your help. And my wife looked at me and said, do your thing, and you help this lady. And what I did was, it was a visa issue. It was a visa issue that no one really cared. And I hate to say this, it's because she didn't have a strong voice. She didn't have what Michael Quijas had. I will pester you. I will call you. I will call the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and say, what resources do we have? And it was this underserved family that didn't have a strong voice that needed someone. Well, most of you are from somewhere else, but I get on the phone with Kit Vaughn, Congressman Cleaver, Claire McCaskill, all our legislators, all our senators, and I started working for this family. Next thing, it was a car. The lady didn't have a car. She's taking the bus at 4:30 in the morning to get to work. And this isn't reality for most of us. Most of us flew in here today or are here, and not to say that we're all with big means, but most of us don't have to take a bus to get to point B. Well, I called Jana and them. I said, what can we do? Now, I won't get real deep into the story, but the girl's fighting right now at Children's Mercy. And for the last 60 days, my Mid-America chapter has fed her at the hospital, the mother, the daughter. They've added the resources where they can eat at the hospital, something that you would take for granted. Not only that, an hour ago I was talking to Victoria. I'm remodeling their kitchen. The marble guy's car got stolen. The granite top person's car got stolen last night. He threw a kink into my whole construction plan. I called Victoria. Victoria sends out a blast email to all the employees and everyone that's out there. And do you know how many results I've got back? How many calls, emails I've got while I'm sitting here, that the kind, gracious people in this city, in the Rolodex of your Rolodex, has responded, and they're going to lay this piece of granite. Now, I tell you this because, you know, it's finding resources. And there's that underserved population out there that sometimes they need a strong voice. Me, I have to tell each and every one of you that you give us hope. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a researcher, and I'm not a scientist. But what I am is someone that is out there trying to help people. But you're only as good as the team that you have. So I ask each and every one of you, I challenge you to fall back in love with what you do. You come here, some of you might have missed recitals. Some of you might have had to sacrifice a birthday to be here today. But I can only tell you, as I look at my wife, that the hope that you give all of us parents, which might be detached, and in the end, you know what you're doing because you're helping families, children, anyone that can get touched by this thing. But you're giving us hope. And I have to finish up, and what I'll end it with was, me and my daughter, we were watching it was a cartoon, an animated thing a couple weekends ago, and it was a cow. And the cow said, strong people stick up for themselves, and even stronger people stick up for others. So I ask you to continue what you're doing. My face might be the same face that you see in Sarasota, Dayton, Ohio, Topeka, Kansas. But what it is as long as you give hope and you do what you do, it's helping families like mine and helping families like mine that help a little girl named Carrie Magana at Children's Mercy. So thank you for the time. I thank you for the opportunity. And I told myself if I was ever on a stage, I just wanted to look at everyone and just tell you thank you.